Well, now that everybody is absolutely depressed about Lydia's death, let's move on and pray that things don't turn for the worse in a very short period of time and that we're able to survive Felipe for a little bit longer. Okay. Sitting room is brightly illuminated by the dozens of candles. Today, the tapestry bearing the Brante family crest, an oak branch wrapped in chains, hangs above the fireplace. Petitions have been granted and the paperwork is ready. Today, Gloria will join the Brante family and become your father's lawful daughter. I'm so happy. At least in all of this mess, Gloria is going to be recognized as an official part of the family and Stefan can't do anything together. The entire family is gathered together except for Stefan. Ever since you and Gloria got your way, your elder brother has spent less and less time at home, whatever, preferring to take prolonged trips or to visit his noble friends. Gloria is standing by the fireplace, cloaked in a modest black dress quite unlike her usual trousers and men's jacket. Even her hair is braided today. For the sake of this momentous occasion, she is behaving as reservedly as she can, though she often glances at you with gratitude. Yay. Father steps forward solemnly and makes a speech as the family watches with profound silence. Come closer, Gloria, and become a branch of the Brante family tree. Yay! Gloria kneels humbly before the man she called Sir Robert all of her life. He holds his hand in front of her face as the ceremony demands. From this day forth, you shall be a full member of this family, your fate now bound with ours. Wear your name with honor, and may the Brante family prosper with you. I'm so glad he followed through with this because he could have listened to Stefan after Lydia died and disowned her. I'm so glad that he didn't do that. I'm so glad that he's actually being an honorable man. Gloria leaves a filial kiss on his fingers of his outstretched hand. Now rise, Gloria Brante. Yay! Slowly, gracefully, confidently, Gloria rises to her feet. For the first time since childhood, she looks and seems like your older sister. Yes! With a smile, father at last embraces his adopted daughter as a parent. Gloria warmly responds to this embrace, then hurries to you. Bermp, we're legally brother and sister now, and I owe it all to you. I swear I'll never forget what you've done for me. I promise I'll be more careful from now on. I'll only do what's best for the family whose name I bear. This could help reputation as well. You answer her without hesitation. Gloria has always been your family. That's so sweet. I love this strong sibling relationship. It's so sweet. Your sister squeezes your hand in excitement. This is her day, the day that she has been waiting for all her life. Loud thudding steps echo from the foyer. The doors swing open. Stefan stands on the doorstep. Your elder brother, now haggard-looking, covered in the dust of the road, casts a tired gaze over the faces of the family gathered around the fireplace. Oh. It seems I have arrived at the very moment of triumph. Would you look at that? Already celebrating the day the Brante family lost its honor, aren't you? Gloria stands between you and him, brave and confident, her hands on her hips. She has no reason to be afraid of Stefan's fury now. We're celebrating the fact that no member of this family can now toss another onto the street. Stefan allows himself a bitter chuckle. Gloria, how typical of you. You've cut off your nose to spite your face. And my brother Bermp is just the same. You've all robbed our bloodline of our noble future. You've ruined everything Sir Gregor Brante paid for in sweat and blood. If it weren't for him, we would have nothing. Stefan's face grows crimson as he says these words. It takes him a moment, albeit a brief one, to compose himself and continue. But what's done is done. Our honor is already lost. From now on, I will have no further connection to your family. I'm leaving for the capital. Nothing will ever make me visit this home again. I suppose it is time for my farewells then. Screw off, dude. Stefan, wait, don't be ridiculous. You're still my eldest son. And what, pray tell, am I to inherit, father? I just brought home loads of money, dude! You robbed us of all our hereditary title right when it was within our grasp. But I don't blame you. You're just a victim of my brother's schemes, or do you disagree, Bermp? Fine. I can't do anything else. Goodbye. Coldly, you snap back at Stefan that if the title is all that your brother ever wanted from his family, then he doesn't deserve to bear the family name. All Stefan has brought to the family name is strife, animosity, and... This is true. I mean, he did protect Gloria. One time. One time he protected Gloria. But then he let his grandfather get to him. For the sake of his ambition, he was ready and willing to sacrifice anything, anyone, all under the pretense of protecting his family. Good riddance, there's no place for him here. Stefan meets your lengthy speech with a surprising calm. When you are done, a bitter grin appears on his face once again. You'll never understand what it means to be a nobleman, Bermp. Yeah, I know that. But you're right about one thing. This is no longer my concern. It is high time I did something for myself. I'm still the son of Amalia Elborn. Should I ask my uncle, Sir Elborn, to grant me his family name, he will not refuse me. I should forge a new fate for myself, one without any of you in it. It's fine, dude. Stefan studies each of you as though trying his best to remember this moment forever. His face reflects a fleeting moment of regret, but is quickly replaced by decisiveness. I cannot reject this blood tide. It flows in my veins now. But I can reject all of you. So Robert Brante, you are no longer my father or my patriarch. Bermp or Nathan, you are no longer my brothers, and I will make sure everyone knows it. Stefan removes a ring bearing the family seal from his finger and hurls it to the roaring fireplace. He glances at each of you with one last time before turning away and walking briskly outside. A moment later, you hear hooves and clattering against the cobblestones, growing quieter as they recede into the distance, and then a long silence marred only by the crackling fireplace. Poor Dad. My eldest son has rejected our family. Ye gods, what did I do to anger you so? I don't think you did. Gloria steps carefully towards her foster father. Her hand comes to rest on his shoulder. He puts it to his face and tears begin to flow. You didn't... Okay. Robert, you gotta understand, you didn't pick one child over another. You did what was right, and Stefan rejected it. I hoped Stefan would come to accept our decision, but a hereditary title means more to him than our family's happiness. Yes, thank you. I love Robert. Please don't be angry with me. We won't make the same mistake he did. We will weather the scorn of the noble families with dignity. We will remain united in this home, no matter what. Good. Yes, Father, that we will. Your family does their best to console each other, but the celebration is ruined. Eventually, you go to your room to sleep, but a flood of memories keeps slumber at bay. You remember Stefan leading you by the hand through the yard. You remember sitting at the big table on the porch. Poking each other in the arm. You remember marching through the streets of Anazote at night looking for Gloria. It is sad. It's sad, it's sad, it's sad. Now Stefan has left his family home in Anazote never to return. This is the last you will ever hear of the man who used to be your elder brother. Well, that makes me the heir. That makes me the heir of the family. It was very sad, but repentance of what? The last few months have been marked by a welcome absence of quarreling in the Brante estate. Your only concern these days is the price you had to pay for this peace. Today, come home late, wrung dry after a day of work and worry. Everyone is sound asleep. You are making your way to the bedroom when you hear a suspicious noise coming from Father's study. It's too late for Father to be working. You go to the door to study. The room is brightly lit. The moon. You recognize your brother's clumsy silhouette above Father's desk in the moonlight. Nathan hears you come in and leaps. What are you doing?
Bermp, it's you. Shush. I just took the dagger for a moment. Don't worry. I know holding the weapons against my lot. I don't mean anyone any harm. It's for me, actually. I have to go to the twins. No! He turns the dagger around, holding it against his own body. Try to remain still. Nathan wants to take one of his own lives, but why? I'm not even sure what to say, brother. I can't find a place in this world. I'm always an outsider, a waste of space. No, buddy, no! I've been trying to understand them for so long. How am I supposed to live in their world? What is my place in their great plan? But I've only made things worse. No, buddy, no. I've meddled with the Markian sect, defiled and rejected my lot, indulged in vice, but I found nothing there. The old faith, the new faith, Father Mark's heresy. They gave me all sorts of answers, but none of them worked. There's nothing else left for me now. I've got to see the twins myself and ask them. I know I'm an affront to their plan just because I'm alive, but I'll repent. I'll pray for their forgiveness, but the twins will never forgive, you tell Nathan softly. They never have, and they never will. You will be judged in the hereafter for every false step you take. Your younger brother sighs heavily. I know. Mother taught us this all of our lives. But I still have to try. There's no other way. One of my lives isn't too big a price to pay if it works. Can't find any use for them anyway. See you soon, brother. I hope I'll be different when I can. He's not going to come back, is he? No! Why? I can't do anything. Take a step back. The life that Nathan's about to take belongs to him. He is free to do with it as he pleases. May finally find an end to his desperate search of meaning. But he's not going to come back, is he? Whispers words of gratitude, barely audible, and a sharp exhale as he gets ready to strike. His hand guide the dagger awkwardly through the air into his chest. The sharp tip reluctantly sinks into his flesh. A weakened yelp escapes Nathan's throat. He staggers and falls, blood oozing out of the wound. Moments pass and Nathan's... Okay, good. He dissipates as his mortal frame dissolves. He has departed to commune with the twins. What awaits him in the hereafter? You pick up Father's dagger carefully, wipe it clean, put it back in the drawer where it belongs. When the skies begin to grow bright, before dawn, you go to the family crypt to welcome your brother back. Nathan's already there, lying atop the granite slab. Even made anew, his naked body is still just as thin, awkward, and feeble. Suddenly stands when he hears your footsteps, his eyes shining with otherworldly light. I spoke to them, brother. I dared to address them as my soul rose up. I begged the twins forgiveness, and they heard me. They did. And the elder, he reached out to me. He wanted to respond to me. I know he did. But the younger sword stopped us. Cut the bond between us, and I fell. But I saw compassion in the elder's eyes, and I fell. He followed me. He shall descend to the lands again. He shall witness our suffering and bring us mercy. And then this world will change at last. Your younger brother shivers, almost convulsing with cold. You wrap him in a black cloak. Together you return home before sunrise. No one in your family ever learns of Nathan's lesser death. That ended better than I thought it would, and good. I'm glad I can rebuild some of that. Nathan stopped wasting time in the taverns with suspicious characters. He spends every day in ardent prayer. Again and again his quiet voice speaks to the elder brother's coming return. Family watches this drastic change in their wayward son with great surprise. Frick. And I've used up all of that willpower I once had. Okay, 2 years left, I think. Oh, this is getting tense. For over a year now, Anazote's been steadily shimmering with unrest. I'm just going to paraphrase this because I don't want to read all of it. Commoners flock to the squares in droves. Mob is bolder. Last straws. Insurgents commit brazen acts. Noble gentry insisted every mob be dispersed by force, ready for a fight, sword in hand. In spite of enormous pressure, Overseer Guy's Tempest remains highly reluctant to allow any bloodshed. Common people are already too desperate. Even the age-old fear of the nobility's might is barely enough to keep them in check. People are rejecting the lots and converting to the new faith, not to mention other stranger, more esoteric teachings and beliefs. Printed pamphlets litter the streets. No one is rushing to subdue the citizens or punish the city for now. Father Leonard's transformed the Temple of Silver Tree into a believer stronghold. He is no longer afraid to break the ban on preaching the new faith. His sermons are now openly challenging the old faith. It seems the Church of the Twins is unable to recognize this great mistake. Lots must be abandoned and are relics of the past. The Twins granted everyone freedom to choose their own path in this world. I will not stop until this freedom is recognized throughout the Empire. The next patriarch of Magra must choose by the parish, not the clergy. This is the will of the Twins, and it must be ours as well. Leonard intends the old order of the church and become patriarch. His opponents, however, are beset by eternal struggle and strife. Inquisition is fighting a myriad of heresies, more of which appear every day. So basically, this is a huge struggle that's going on right now, and it looks like the people are winning. The streets are restless and dangerous. Minds and souls are beset by confusion. The authorities argue, bickering among themselves. But this is what it takes in order for a people to be free. What we have in America is only because this has had to happen before. The weight of a new age rests upon my shoulders. Can I get some willpower back first? Oh boy. The Brante family can't take any more pain. Please don't do this. For over a year now, Anazote has been slowly simmering with unrest. Viewed between the estates, between the old faith and the new, between the law of the Empire and the noble traditions, tensions are an all-time high, waiting for the slightest spark to catch fire and burn. Even your family affairs have been affected by the growing... No! During these troubled times, the future of your family will be decided! No! Father shakes you awake early in the morning. He's excited, clutching a letter bearing imperial seal of the Tempest dynasty. Wake up, son. Come to the sitting room. A letter has come from Overseer Gaius Tempest. He breaks the seal and unfolds the letter's massive. To the Honorable Brante family, I, Gaius of Tempest Dynasty, Overseer of the province of Magra, have given due consideration to your petition to have your bloodline ennobled by the sword. You're expected in 1 week at Castle Eneri, as all petitioners of the sword, where you shall hear my decision firsthand. After finishing the letter, Father turns to you. He looks fatigued. Well, son, it's time for us to be honest with each other about our family. What do we have to say about this? Where do we, the Brantes, stand after so many years? What hopes do we have for the future of this family? Okay. That's all I can do. Okay. There's so much stuff that I would need that's not going to happen. What? No. We're going to preserve the family because it's what we've been aiming for since the very beginning. You confess to Father that both of you already know. It's clear what Gaius Tempest's decision will be. Your family's hopes of being ennobled by the sword are long gone. You had to maintain your family's reputation and fortune and peace in the home. It all proved too much to handle. After expending too much energy resolving the strife within your family, you had little strength left for the rest. With a sigh, Father agrees. You're right, my son. We couldn't weather the storm that came upon us. We could even hope for a hereditary title after that. I can only imagine how your grandfather must be raging in the hereafter. Brante, Patriarch, uneasily considers what comes next. Though our family is still together, still whole. Well, it pains me to think that there will be so many losses that could have been prevented. I must confess, at one point I even feared there might be nothing for us left. But we are still a family. Very well. We'll abandon the pursuit of the nobility of the sword for our descendants, and tend to the Brante family itself. He peeks into the sitting room, his hair is tousled. Father, Bermp, what happened? Nothing, Nathan. Life goes on, that is all. The weary father embraces his two sons. The last of the embers were once a letter from Gaius Tempest smolder away in the fireplace. He dead! Who cares? It's almost too much to bear, but your family ties have been preserved. Yes! Brente family will live on. Good. Oh, good. I mean, it's only one direction to go at this point. The greater good, this event is the consequence of previous act. Woohoo! Okay. Okay. I'm pumped. 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 Wait. Okay. Okay. It's nighttime. The print shop is empty. You sit by candlelight awaiting Sophia's arrival. She finally returns. Yay! The door creaks. You can barely discern the smoldering embers of her pipe in the darkness. Her languid footsteps approach, the glow of the candlelight across Sophia's face. Hey there, Bermp. Hey, you. You take a step forward. The familiar smell of tobacco tickles your nostrils. Sophia glances at the Miss Wish of her farewell gift. Still got it on you, huh? That's good. You'll need it soon enough. You raise your eyebrows inquiringly. It's time I told you everything. Sorry I couldn't confide in you until the last minute. I see I was wrong now. What in the world is she talking? Yeah, what are you talking about? That moron Felipe had no idea there was a real revolt brewing right under his nose. Well, everything's finally ready. We are ready, but yes! Screw Felipe! I'll take a lesser death to screw Felipe. Oh, shoot. The last straw is tough now, real tough. We've got firearms, manpower, an idea, and most importantly, the people's rage. There's no stopping it now. We need to point it in the right direction, and bam. You ask Sophia where she intends to direct this rage. She stares at you. You cannot tell whether she is surprised or dismayed. What do you mean, where? At the Empire, of course. We're going to declare war. We're going to fight until there's nothing left of the old order. We're going to fight until all those nobles are wiped out. Until the world finally changes. The half-measure guys like Egmont want ain't gonna make the world better. Excuse me, we're gonna do this for the greater good. We're gonna take the first steps tomorrow. Felipe thinks he's achieved his goals. He'll order us to start his fake revolt. But we're gonna start our own revolt, a real one. We'll take Felipe out and we'll finally be free. Sophia takes your hand. She clenches it so hard that it hurts. I want you by my side, Bermp. It's payback time. This golden reflection of the candle flames flickers in them. My fear is if I talk her out of it, I might kill the rebellion altogether. Because look, if we look over here at the destiny, these are the two that are, I've got everything completed for, which means that I still have a chance to get to the free city. But I just have a feeling that even here, with the Last Straw's riot, that there's still a worse ending. So I honestly think it's better to agree with her and to stand with her, because I've been standing with her all this time. And the last time that I was wrong about Sophia ended very badly for me. You tell her that you'll always be together. Tomorrow you will kill Felipe and be free at last. Is that going to work, though? The entire world disappears except for her smoldering lips and the flame of the candle. It's very sweet. Even late at night, the streets of Anazote echo with chatter. They cannot sleep. You can't sleep tonight either. Advisor El Ferro frickin' Felipe sent you a surprising note a few hours ago. He's coming. You hear slow, steady footsteps accompanied by the tapping of a cane. There's a knock at the door. Felipe enters the print shop. Sophia quietly follows him in. You exchange with a nod. The print shop is crowded despite the late hour. Father Fuad, Alida, and the other workers observe Felipe uneasily. Oliver is there too. He acknowledges the Baron with a polite nod. Suddenly realizes that Felipe no longer cares about the Last Straw members, if the Last Straw members see his face. You walk into the office with Felipe and Sophia and lock the door. Well then, Brante, I hope your people are ready. It's time to put our plan into action. They are ready. Just give the word. Excellent, excellent. Soon our song of victory will reach its final note. Our road has been a long one, much longer than we thought, but now the end is in sight. Had a word with the Overseer. And in the end, I managed to convince him that Elborn simply cannot maintain order in Anazote. We are just one step away from being granted special authority from the secret chancellery. All we need is an excuse for action. Prepare your people to take to the streets, and when I finally give the authority, we will eliminate each and every traitor to the Empire. Egmont, Lennart, Elborn, all of them. But those scum will probably try to flee Anazote. I'll need the people you've recruited throughout Magros, Sophia. There are more than enough of them. Glad to hear it. How much time do you need to prepare, Brante? Shift your gaze from Felipe to Sophia. She's been standing there behind him all this time, a silent shadow, and her hand held high, her eyes trained on you. Felipe Kane taps impatiently. He is waiting for an answer. The advisor is right. The day you've worked for all these years has finally come. Oh. Oh, so... wow. So literally every one of these things here I'm seeing, your choice is decided exclusively by previous decisions. There's no two of them that are going to be open. Wow. Okay, well, let's murder Felipe. You meet Sophia's gaze, you nod. It's time. I'm asking you a question, Brante. How much time do you need to get your people ready for revolt? People have been ready for a long time, you say. Sophia walks to the door and slides the bolt open. It clangs loudly. Your loyal people enter the room, one by one. Alida, Fuad, each of them accompanied by two muscle-bound, well-armed young men. What in the younger's name? Who are these people, Sophia? What is the meaning of this? Have you seriously decided to start before I even leave? You low-born punks can be so difficult to work with. Shut up! You've said enough. Get him. The burly young man grabbed Felipe by the shoulders on either side. Alida wrenches the cane from his hands and tosses it into a corner. You won't be needing this anymore. The advisor grows pale, even as he tries to retain an air of composure. So mutiny it is. And what are you going to do next, Sophia? What is your plan? I still have all of my lives. I will be back tomorrow, and none of you will ever escape me, I can assure you of that. Are you going to drag your little insurgency to the foot of the pillar along with you? Have you really found a backbone now? Your little sacrifice changes nothing, you know that. And you, Brante, you're staying loyal to this two-faced, backstabbing trollop? Or did you happen to buy into the lies you were feeding them? Big mistake. A swift blow cuts him short. Sophia knees Felipe in the groin. He doubles over, gasping for air. I thought I told you to shut up. What happens next is none of your concern. We're going to put this man on trial, Bermp. The People's Court will judge. That's a lot better than I thought it would be. I want you to carry out the sentence. Oh, well, never mind. You unsheath Sophia's gift. The miseris... is your word. The People's Court? What kind of dog and pony show is this? Another blow convinces Felipe to stay silent. He is forced to his knees. You form a circle around him. Felipe El Ferro for the crimes against the people, for tyranny, for the murder of the innocent. We, the People's Court, hereby sentence you to true death. What do you say, judges? People gathered around you throw their fists in the air and they shout as one, death. The People's Court has spoken. You stab Felipe hard in the chest with the dagger. The blade hits the advisor between the ribs and it sinks down to the hilt. Pathetic farce. Felipe collapses on the floor. Blood begins to pool under his body. The rebels step uneasily away from the glowing puddle. Sophia stays where she is. Her eyes remain fixed on the advisor's corpse. A moment passes and then another. The dead body remains in its place. Felipe has met his true death. Wow! This is confirmation of everything that we thought. Felipe met his true death. You can't believe your eyes. The People's Court, whatever it may be, wields the same authority as the prefecture. That's insane. That is insane. Your word has become the law. Felipe has left this world forever. Okay, we did outright kill him without a trial. And so that does make us murderers. But we've also learned something very important about this world. Sophia wipes the sweat from her brow. With a deep breath, she straightens her shoulders. The yellow sparks in her eyes gleam brighter than you have ever seen before. We've got our work cut out for us now, Bermp. Gather everyone down to the last man. The new believers, Egmont's miners, the homeless, the farmers, tell them all to be ready. Anyone who supports us needs to hit the streets and unleash their rage against the nobles in the Empire. We used the ruckus to raise to deal with the rest of the secret chancellery's agents. First things first, we'll purge the last straw of Felipe's bootlickers. Retribution is inevitable. That's the law of the land, and now it's time for all the nobles and Arcanians to pay for their crimes and stand trial before the people's court. But what will you do with Felipe's body? Nail it to the chancellery gate. We don't need to hide anymore. Wow. With that, Sophia leaves the print shop. The fringe of her dress, still soaked in blood, drips a crimson trail along the floor behind her. Holy crap. Well, how'd that take away wealth? I don't know. Whatever. The last straws revolt. Okay. Wait, why? What happened to Egmont? Wait a second. I had both of these checked off here. What's going to happen? Freedom, so intoxicating, so easily sliding into lawlessness. The desire for freedom infiltrates a hearts and like a poison, leading the people to commit murderous crimes. Chancellor now bears the banner of the last straw, hand clenching the lantern in the darkness. Wait a second. Am I doomed to a true death no matter what? Because that's not happening. That's not happening. That's not happening. This is not happening. Oh no. The body of Felipe Alfaro is chained to the Chancellery's gate for all to see. There's a wooden wheel on a stiff neck, the mark of the secret Chancellery. The mob is eager. Am I not going to be able to get to the last stage? The Gurgs sees Mayor Egmont in a few hours of the revolt. What? What? His head was put on a stake in front of the people of Lesser. What? Common people have seen Egmont as their protector for years now, as death has only enraged them. Wait. Oh. Okay, but I'm so confused. So I can't get this because for some reason Egmont died. Some reason that I'm unaware of. He was swiftly sentenced to true death for treason. Okay, Egmont was sentenced to death by the rulers. His head was put on a stake in the Lesser Quorum, but that just enrages the people. People fill the street. Tempers run high, thanks in no small part to the last straw's provocateurs. Spark has fallen on the dry tinder, and now the entire city has caught fire. With Felipe dead, the authorities are just helpless against your uprising, just as planned. Legion, the noble militia, the prefecture of the Gregs, they can do nothing to stop the revolt. Your guns and gunpowder have crushed their every attempt to restore order. But how could I have saved Egmont? Sophia's little army has defeated the Empire's first attempt to resist your movement. I guess I couldn't have been... if I wasn't as close to her, then maybe I could have saved Egmont. Oh, it's so frustrating, though. With Sophia, you step out onto the Chancellery's tall stairs in the evening sun. The square is crowded. Time has come to pass judgment. Sophia raises an arm. Her eyes are glowing brighter than before. The crowd falls silent. Listen, everyone. The nobles will never dare to oppress the commoners again. We've got weapons. We've got men. We are the last straw. The old order is about to come to an end. Today, they tried to stop us on our way to freedom. They will be punished by the People's Court. One by one, drag Felipe's thugs out and make them kneel. You spot Moss among them, glancing around like a cornered beast. The mob screams in their faces. This is not good. I knew this wouldn't be good either. I didn't know. Everything's wrong! I mean, this happens during a revolt. Crap like this happens. The Rwandan genocide and other things like that. This happens. People you see before you are loyal lapdogs of the secret chancellery. They all serve a man who now hangs on the fence behind me. Today we put them all on trial. Oh my gosh. I know the prisons are given already. Please, Bermp, spare me. I want to live. I'll always be faithful to you. I don't deserve to die. Enemies of freedom for the crimes against the people of Enizote. We, the People's Court, hereby sentence you to true death. Oh my gosh. What do you say, judges? And they scream death. People's Court has spoken, and you drop your hand. The guns all fire at once. Bodies fall to the ground. This is not good. The word of the people has become the law. It cannot be stopped, tolerated the tyranny of the Empire for far too long. The time has come to take our destiny into our own hands. Arm yourselves, people. Your freedom is in our hands. Oh my gosh. Freedmen, the men, and Freedmen, take the men. Tell everyone to leave the square. Get the city walls we need to get all the gates under control. Gaius Tempest is probably already on his way here with his battalions. Sophia turns to you. Although utterly exhausted, she still manages to smile. I told you I was nothing but trouble. Even I don't know what's going to happen next. Oh my gosh. It doesn't matter anymore. You will either win or hang. No two ways about it. Bermp has left me. Well said. I got an urgent job for you, Bermp. We've done well, but our foothold here is still too weak. If our enemies decide to work together, we will be crushed. We need to split up. I'll arm a few new recruits. Freedmen will defend the walls. You will keep an eye on the city. We have to finish off the enemies here and find allies to support us. Promise to do everything you can. Sophia's fingers lightly brush against your cheek. Her lips find yours briefly, but there's little time to waste. I love you. She leaves a square before you can manage a reply, and you leave as well. Resemble Garagarak, blah, 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 and garrison battalions soon take the Chancellery and most of the Central District. Night falls, and for a brief moment. I hate that. For a brief moment, the city is quiet once more. Wow. Okay. Well, I didn't get the one I wanted. Crap! But I made it to the ending chapter. I got it to the revolt. This is just...
At last, the day has come which would decide my fate, as well as that of my family, and perhaps the entire Empire. The day of the revolt.
I'm not happy. I mean, it's feeling much more satisfactory already, even though he's becoming someone I don't recognize. I'm gonna end here for now, and I'll be back. And just like previously, any moment could be the last episode. And honestly, if I die here, I think I'm gonna leave it. Like, even if it's an unsatisfying ending, I don't think that I'm gonna make any more episodes the next time he dies. Truthfully, I just hated Felipe. But thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see y'all later.